All right, so War 11, we have Human Torch, Apocalypse, and Cosmic Ghost Rider bands. All right, so Boss Island, we have Gallon, Symbiote Supreme, Blade, probably still an option. Mephisto back there, S99 or Warlock. I Hulk over here, Warlock as well. Probably S99 as well. Doom Boss, S99. Kitty Pryde has worked too. Bishop, you've got Ghost, and then you have Immortal Abomination. Mordo there, you have Archangel and S99. Cersei, you have Symbiote Supreme and Hood. And then King Groot, you have Hood and Rintraw as your top options. 1 through 3 on the way out. Cap Sam, you have Null and Gallon as your top options. Path 1, Magneto there, you have Nimrod and Omega Sentinel. You can take him with Nimrod when the boss is down. You can also go Archangel. And then Weapon X, Omega Sentinel or Nimrod as well. Path 2, Longshot, S99, Titania, any of those buff immune champs. And then for Domino, you can just go with either Omega Sentinel or Nimrod with an Odin pre-fight. And then path 3 there, easy Nebula fight. Or you can throw in a Claire. 4 through 6 on the way out, Infamous Doom, not Immortal Doom. Hulkling, Gallon, probably good options. And then on the way in, Hyperion, Symbiote Supreme, maybe Anti-Venom, probably definitely Warlock. Path 4 there, Fury, Mole Man, Shang-Chi. Path 5 there, Nimrod or Omega Sentinel for Toad. Just watch it with Omega Sentinel and the Node. And then for Sasquatch, you have Kitty Pryde, Warlock, Mr. Negative. And then path 6 there, Nimrod or War Machine for Apocalypse, and then for Human Torch, you can use War Machine again. Can also use Warlock or Archangel. Archangel, just look out for parrying too much. 7 through 9, way out, nothing there. On the way in, Killmonger. I believe there is an armor break. You could use Magneto and build to that armor break. Kind of risky. Probably just go with CMM and Omega Red and just add an Odin pre-fight to either just to make it a bit easier. Path 7, you can use Omega Red for Penny there or S99 or Magneto, and then use Mr. Negative S99 for Mangog. Path 8 there, Nebula for Dragonman or Mr. Negative or any of your buff immune options. And then for Gorr, you have a list of Mystic options like Hood, Symbiote Supreme, Claire, Rintraw, Tigra, all of the, Wiccan, all of the neutralized champs. But I would recommend an Odin pre-fight in all three, just to kind of help with the rich get richer. And then path 9 there, you can Ghost MODOK if you want, or you can use Magneto. And then for Man-Thing, you can use Nebula, or you can go Thing. Okay, looking back at 1 through 3 on the way in section 2, Quicksilver, Fury, and Null going to be great options. Middle minis, Maw, you can use S99 or Mr. Negative. Kitty Pryde, you can go with Nimrod or Silver Centurion as well. 1 through 3 on the way out, Nimrod, you can go Nebula. You can also use S99 or Hulkling. Path 1 there, S99, Mr. Negative, Titania, Ant-Man for Mojo, and then for Hulkling, Symbiote Supreme, Hood, any of the neutralized options like Rintraw or Wiccan or Tigra. And then path 2, Claire, you can go with Mr. Negative, because you won't get nullified. You can also use S99 and the bunch. And then Korg, you have Omega Red, you have White Magneto, you have either of the Storms. And then path 3, Surfer there, you have Null, you have Hulkling, and you have Gallon. Gallon can be used for Nimrod as well. All right, and then 4 through 6 on the way out, Chavez, you have Kitty Pryde, Mr. Negative, Cap Sam, Path, or sorry, not Cap Sam, Captain Infinity War. Path 4, Rintrall there. I mean, you could risk someone like Mole Man or Shang-Chi, but you can also go with your usual science. So Cap, Infinity War, S99, just watch out for the whole node. You could also probably use Archangel. Path 5 there, Thing, you have Hercules, or Herc, you have Claire, you have Omega Red, and then for Fury, you can use Omega Red, Kitty, or White Magneto. Path 6 there, Archangel or any poison immune for Scorpion, and then for Tigra, S99, Mr. Negative, Titania, Ant-Man, any of those are options, Archangel as well. 7 through 9 on the way out, Arcus, you have CMM and Shang-Chi with a White Magneto pre-fight. And then path 7 there, you can use Ghost for Wong or Risk S99. And then for Kingpin, Omega Red, Archangel are going to be good options. And then path 8, Nova, you can bring in a Cosmic with a bunch, like Odin with a bunch of buffs in a True Strike, or you can use someone who's going to nullify or prevent buffs, like Rintrall, Claire, Symbiote Supreme, any of those options. And then path 9, Void, you have Shang-Chi, you have S99, you have Ghost. And then for Terrax, you could use, probably top option is going to be CMM, but you could also use Anti-Venom as well. So that does it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 11 is against the 3 realms. Today I will be taking in Mr. Negative, Archangel, and Hood. I've got Path 4 in Section 1 and Path 8 in Section 2, and I have a middle mini-boss and a mini-boss on Boss Island. I had fun with this war, despite what you're going to see. So, Path 4 here, or sorry, this is 6. I might have called this 4. Path 6 in Section 1. Path 6 here, we've got the Scorpion. This is the only reason Archangel came in. Scorpion is not bleed immune, and while he is on defense, he is not poison immune because his stings place poison stings. So you can just parry heavy this all day, not even worry about the prowess. In fact, if we get good RNG, which we do, I mean, despite 2 heavies and no poisons, but from here on, it's pretty smooth. Once you get to his special one, you can kind of start to turtle and then bait him in a little bit to get a parry. His heavy's pretty quick, so I decided not to reparry, and you can see here I prevented him from throwing a special attack even once. So Archangel's one and only fight, super smooth. We move on to Tigra here. I'm going to end up taking it with Mr. Negative. We're going to PS1 so that we can end this one quickly, so that we don't get a Tigra AI that doesn't like to throw special attacks, and we don't end up with a Tigra with a bunch of prowess from this aggressive prowess that's on the node. So I'm going to parry 3 times, but only heavy once at the start. However, I miss a parry there, decide to heavy retaliate her heavy attack. So it's going to result in 1 parry, back off, evade counter after a second parry or third, and then back into setting up the next set of light energy. And here I'm going to evade counter off my block into special 2, and this is pretty much going to finish it. I did throw on Resonate. It was not just for this fight, which prevents her unblockable, but it is also for a fight later, the middle mini boss I'm going to take. Chavez here, you guys have seen me take her before on Node 19. This one I really battled with the idea of keeping the PS1 on and hopefully getting the next fight with it, especially since the likely KO here is going to come from a special 2, and an invulnerability is really not going to prevent much of that damage. But I go with the invulnerability anyways. The game plan here is to parry combo. We keep the aggressive prowess down. We build light energy, and we don't knock her down on the way to our special 3. And we end combos with lights and dash back so that she is less likely to throw a heavy attack at the end of our combo if we were to finish with a medium. So we built the 7 light energy there, converted it. Now we're going to save it. We're going to build to special 3 while we build some light energy. If it ends up being too much light energy on the way to special 3, we are actually going to let this set expire, but I see an opportunity here to parry, knock her down, evade counter off my block, and I thought for a second there she wasn't going to let me convert it, and she came in, so we were able to convert that couple hits to build the special 3, and then we throw the special 3. And then as usual, this puts her at about 50%, pretty close, and then we just watch her tick away. And here she threw a special 2 right away out of the special 3. But doesn't matter. If anything, that probably would have been some potion use. Maw here, I was very worried about this Maw. With the root mechanic from Scared Stiff, the the bubble shield, and the fact that he has a miss mechanic and Mr. Negative can't really counter it. It was just a lot because the special 1, it's just going to be really reliant on whether he throws special 1. So I was planning on parrying and heavy retaliating a heavy and then evade countering quite a bit so that I can keep putting touches on Maw to keep the root away. And then with the power focus 2, it was going to let me get him to special 1 quickly and then always heavy retaliate that to keep his focus off. And this is where the resonate comes in as well. It'll keep his focus going. And there, actually, the evade counter, I got the benefit of the hood synergy, which actually had an innervate. So I could hit him for 3 hits without him gaining any power, which is very, very, very useful for this power focus node. And you can see here with the PS1 and that little parry retaliate strategy, it works out to be a speedy and pretty quick, or pretty satisfying fight. Dragonman here, decided to take this with Mr. Negative. It was originally assigned to a hood, or my hood. The only thing I have to look out for here is my parry failing, and then I have to make sure that I don't evade counter if he has a buff, because my defensive ability accuracy is reduced by 10% from this node for every buff that Dragonman has. So we get a parry there, perfect. Now he has no buffs, so I can parry heavy like crazy. We evade counter there while he doesn't have a buff. I see that the power is coming back, so I wait a couple parries to see if we can remove it, and since we do, we evade counter into special 2, and this pretty much ends it. Now I'm just gonna beat him down as we try and get him KO'd. The special 1 there removed the power game buff, and I had a heavy ready for evade counter. It actually dropped since he went KO. Now Gorr here. This is where I say I had fun this war despite the way it looked, and it's because of this fight here. If you guys watched the map at a glance, I recommended that any Mystic that takes this comes with Odin pre-fights, and this is pretty much why. I did drop Mystic Dispersion down to 2 here because I did not want to shoot all the way to special 3 after a special 2, and as usual when I die I slow things down, so spoiler alert, I die here. I realized that after this first attempt that I was way too passive and way too focused on getting this invisibility up, and here I was actually trying to parry and it was ending up as being just blocks, which is unfortunate. And here this next combo I was trying to bait out a heavy, and I realized I was taking debuffs through my blocks, so that kind of freaked me out, and I dashed back, and that led to Gorr throwing his special 2, which is a big no-no when he's got all of his buffs on him, because now I've got debuffs that are going to for sure kill me. So wasn't aggressive enough. The replay or the second attempt, you're going to see how I probably should have done it to start. And the only change I would take from, or the only change I would make to the second attempt with what I had going on is that I actually spend time baiting his special 1. If you're wondering why I didn't feel like baiting it, if I don't get that special 1 out and a fate seal isn't placed, I'm going to die the same way I did the first time. From all of the damaging debuffs I'll take from block. But with the Fate Seal up, there aren't going to be any because he doesn't have those Curse Magic buffs. And then you see here the downtime between those 2 special 2s. It's just not enough time to get back to a special 2. So the other change would be probably a power back boost. That way I don't have to rely on MD between special 2s. And that's where I say I ate a special 3. That's where I say the Odin pre-fights are going to probably come in handy big time if you ever take that with a Mystic option. We move on, taking this King Groot. I took it last season and only focused on placing hexes through the mediums and not through the special 2. I actually avoided throwing special attacks. And this one I decide we're not going to do that. So I'm going to combo him. I'm going to use the invisibility for easy openings and placing more hexes and building more bullets. And I'm going to throw the special too. My MD is still really low here, and it's not really that big of a deal. And I don't have power back boosts on. But the game plan here was to place hexes through medium, push them to special 1, bait out the special 1, be very mindful of the fact that if he gains the regen buff between Fate Seals or between staggers, that he will be unblockable. So we need to use the invisibility or wait till it ends. And most likely using the invisibility so that our hexes don't expire. But we're just placing all of our bullets, getting close to about 50, and then finding our heavy window to detonate those bullets, and then, or that hex, and then KO him. We have a synergy with Mr. Negative here. It adds an energy vulnerability to this, to his heavy detonation for the hexes. So it's going to do more than if we didn't have the synergy. And then we're not worried about the conduit debuff. You will see it not show up sometimes after a special 2. That's just because of the reduced ability accuracy from the Fate Seal. So that is a nice addition to Hood. That's also why Hood could take some hazard shift nodes against Cosmics. Because just between special 2s, you can reduce the number of times you take a damaging debuff from hazard shift. So here we're above 40. We're getting close to being out of bullets. I'm going to throw this special 2. I'm going to block bait and attack, and I'm going to heavy after his first miss, and he goes bye-bye. So felt good to do a really well executed Hood fight after dying to Gorr like that. But that was the end of our war. I was the only one to die in BG2, laughing, hiding real pain. And we actually ended up winning this war 13-10. So this made our chances of finishing in Masters a lot better. And the matchmaking at the moment looks like it's going to keep us in Masters, but we're still going to show up for war and take care of business. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a subscribe, give it a like, and I will catch you guys at the next war.